Hey, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Unconventional Attorney Podcast. I'm your host, Christopher Small, and I am the Unconventional Attorney. I almost forgot what I was going to say there. Yeah. So, welcome. It's actually Friday. I'm recording this one a little early, and I had something that I wanted to talk about. So I thought, you know what? Why not just get this one on the books, on tape, on paper, whatever you want to say, and bust this out. Before we get to today's show, which is about the power of vulnerability, I want to let you know about something pretty special that's going on. So, if you don't know, I have a group of attorneys called the Inner Circle. The Inner Circle right now has about, 87 members in it, law firm owners just like you. And we do weekly training, we do all this other kind of stuff. One of the other things that we do is we have a quarterly live meeting. Okay, I have a quarterly live meeting, and I invite everybody to come. And what happens is many people don't want to come for whatever reason. They don't. What happens is the same people come every time, and everyone else doesn't come. And so what I told them was I'm going to give them until a certain date to pull the trigger to come, and then I'm going to open it up to you. That date has come and gone, and not enough people have pulled the trigger, and I'm just trying to get a small group of people in. Okay, so speaking of vulnerability, I'm only trying to get 15 people to show up. I want a group of 15. It's going to be small on purpose. What we're going to do at this meeting is dive in to your businesses. I'm going to teach you some stuff that will blow your mind, and I'm also going to force you to force is the correct word. I'm going to force you to get to talk to me about your business, and we're going to go a little bit deep, and we're going to figure out what it is that you need to be doing in the next 90 days to take your business to the next level. And then we're going to meet in another 90 days if you want to come back, and we're going to do the same thing again, and we're just going to keep going until your business is on fire. The people that have come in the past, like I said, they keep coming back. There's a reason for that. The events are amazing. I set them up so that they are very intimate. I set them up so that we have a lot of opportunity to not just talk about theory, but to talk about practical application, to talk about doing. So you don't just feel good when you leave this meeting. You actually do something. Think about how many conferences that you've gone to where you get there and you're all fired up and you're excited, and then nothing happens, right? You don't do anything. You look up in a month or 90 days and you're like, I just got busy, I lost the motivation, whatever. So I don't know when you're going to hear this. I don't know if any spots are going to be available by the time you hear this. Oh, and here's the other thing. It's super cheap. Okay, I'm not even going to make you scroll through and find the price. It's $250. It's going to be on October 4th and October 5th in Charleston, South Carolina. We're going to go, it's only 24 hours. We're going out from 1 p.m. on Friday to 1 p.m. on Saturday. Okay, obviously we're going to sleep in the middle there. The reason I'm doing this is simple. If you live on the East Coast, for example, and you want to fly in on Friday and you want to fly out on Saturday, you could do that. I understand. I have a family. I have obligations. I can't just go traipsing away all the time to do all these things, and you may not be able to do that either. Finances might be tight. You may only have enough money for airfare and one hotel room to come in, and I want to make this available for you. So those are the details. If you're interested, you can go to theunconventionalattorney.com/Q4 registration. theunconventionalattorney.com/Q4 registration. Okay, that's it. When the spots, there's only 15 spots. I think as of right now, 5 or 6 are already full, maybe 7, maybe. When they're full, they're gone. So if you think you might be interested, if you live someplace where you can drive down there, that's money time. So cheap, so simple, so easy. Excuse me opening my LaCroix. But what do you got to lose? I'm going to rock your world, I promise. And I'll even make you this deal right now too. I don't even make this deal with my own inner circle people because I know they're going to love it. If you don't get $250 worth of value out of it, I'll give you your money back. Okay? Right? I am reversing risk. So theunconventionalattorney.com/Q4 registration. Don't wait. Go and sign up. Come and see me October 4th and 5th. It's going to be fun. It's going to be amazing. Typically, I'll to give you. I'm not going to tell you all the details. Like I said, I tell you what we just did. Most of the time, I will host some sort of a dinner / happy hour kind of a thing at on that Friday to give all of us an opportunity to just like hang out and talk, get to know each other, because the people that are in that room too are growing their firms as well. So everybody has great things to talk about, things to share, and it's also a place where you can be real. So if you have a real problem with your business or with your life, we can talk about it, okay? Because all those things spill over together. I can tell you we talked about some interesting stuff the last time that is a common problem amongst business owners, but is something that you can't necessarily just talk about out in the open because, you don't want to hurt people's feelings, and sometimes the people in your life, you don't want to hurt them either. So if you're interested, theunconventionalattorney.com/Q4 registration. Do it. Okay, that's it. That's it for the push. And I probably will mention it in one more episode and then just let it go. Because if it doesn't fill up, I don't care. I love doing these things, and I will do them even if 2 people show up. Okay? I will. That's how much I love them. So, anywho, let's talk about vulnerability. I was watching, I've referenced what is it? $1 Million it's the New York show with real estate. It's called $1 Million Real Estate or $1 Million. Dang it. I looked it up the last time too, I think. Let me look real quick because I want to get this right, because I think you guys should watch the show. Because it's actually pretty good. It's got some good $1 Million Listing. It's got a bunch of good business lessons in there. These guys are marketers. They're pushing it. They're hustling. They're doing crazy stuff all the time to try to get business. And it's not stuff that we have to do all the time necessarily, but it's really a great testament to see these guys making literally millions and millions of dollars a year and still just hustling it. Putting on chicken suits and doing all kinds of weird stuff. Handing out flyers on the street. So we did on one episode. But there's a guy on the show, and his name is Luis. And Luis is a cool dude. He's Cuban, I think, or Puerto Rican. He's spunky. He's good looking. He's sad. He's charismatic. He's like everything I would want to be in a person. However, he's got some demons, right? He's got some demons. He's been battling depression. He's been doing some things. He took a hiatus. He left the show like a year ago and just went like traipsing around the world. And he's back this year, and he's been sort of talking about his journey of working his way through this depression. And there's a point in the show in this last episode where he is at a meeting with one of his clients, and his client is like, "Hey, I wanted to let you know that I saw this Instagram post that you posted, and I wanted to just kind of check in and see how you are." And it turns out that he had posted like a picture on Instagram and then written a long thing about his sort of battle with this disease or this problem that he has, and kind of what he's been doing to overcome it, and some of the challenges that he's faced. And I think he went into a lot of detail, and he shared a lot of his story. And it was so interesting because you could see on his face like all these different emotions that they came over. First of all, it was legitimate fear, right? He's sitting with a client. He's trying to sell a $3 million house, and she's bringing up this Instagram post about how he was, thinking about taking his own life. I mean, that's what the post was about. He was in that dark of a place, and he was really thinking about that. And she was bringing it up, and you can see him going like, am I going to lose a client over this? Like, where's this going to go? Are they going to be able to trust me? You know, like what's going on? And what ended up happening was the lady who owned the house, she goes, I just wanted to let you know that I lost someone to suicide, you know, like a year or two ago or something like that. And I knew that the person was not feeling well, and I knew that they were kind of down, but I didn't know the extent that they were. And I would have done anything if I would have known that, to help them and to take care of them. And she said, so I just wanted to let you know that if you ever need anything, you know, you can always come and talk to me. I will always listen to what you have to say. I sort of made a promise to myself that I would always talk to anyone that ever needed something like that. Okay? And so then instantly you could see his face go from, you know, sort of that panic, like, well, oh my gosh, what's going to happen, to like this sense of relief, and then almost this sense of like, I don't know what the right word is, but sort of just like this emotional response. You know, he got really emotional about it. And that immediately made me think about the type of things that we need to do as law firm owners to make the kind of connections that we need to make with people to get them into our world. And I'm not talking about necessarily talking about your depression, if you have it, or your problems all the time, unless there are some serious lessons that come from that. But you have got to be willing to talk about who you are and what's important to you, okay? If you are not willing to do that, you just look like everyone else. And what's crazy about it, and the reason I wanted to tie in that story with today's episode, was we always think that people are going to be judging us, right? We always think that people are going to be talking shit and doing all this other stuff. But the fact is, we're all the same people. We all have the same problems. We're all dealing with the same shit. And so when you are able to talk about the things in your life that you care about, that you're dealing with maybe, that you're confronting, it helps to make a connection with the people that are looking for someone that they can trust. Okay? So when you are out there making your content, when you're making your videos, because I know you are, I hope you are. If you're not, then you're losing. Okay? If you're not, you're literally losing. You're going to lose to someone that's listening to this, that follows what I'm saying, that executes this plan. You are going to lose to them. Okay? Maybe not today or tomorrow, but soon you will lose to them. And if that person is showing even a small part of who they are, the connections that they make are going to be huge. And I'll give you a perfect example. I was thinking about ways to demonstrate this without going to like a dark place. Think about me. Okay, for example, I have the Unconventional Attorney podcast that I've been doing for a long time. I have another podcast that's going on called Your Next Client, which is a daily podcast, which if you haven't checked that out, it's pretty awesome. But I have the Art of Lawyering podcast. I've got Law Firm Marketing Mastery podcast. I've got all this old content that I'm making where I'm talking about business. I'm talking about how to sign up clients. I'm talking about the things that are happening sort of behind the scenes that most people don't. I'm talking about basically like how the sausage is made. And most people would be afraid to do that, right? Most people would be scared to do that. But for me, if people ever find that, they come and talk to me about it. You know what they say? They're like, man, that is amazing because I get to kind of see into your world and what you're thinking about, and I can see how much you care about setting up success for your clients, success for your employees, success for yourself. Like I can see all that kind of stuff, and it makes a connection with them. They get to see another side of me. When I do my estate planning videos, I talk about how estate planning became really important to me when I had my kids, right? And how much I love business. I talk about these things because it makes a difference. And by the way, I'm not trying to talk about these things in a manipulative way, but if you are not yourself, if you don't allow yourself to open up, if you don't allow people to see who you are, what's the point? Like, this should be fun. You should enjoy this. You shouldn't have to fake it. And you don't. There's no one that can replicate me as me. And there's no one that can replicate me as an estate planning attorney either, because I do some weird shit. Right? The way I approach my business is probably way different than the way that you approach yours. And when people get to see that, they get to choose. Some people are going to like your approach and some people are going to like mine. But I tell you this, if they don't even know what your approach is, they're going to choose me most of the time. Because they know that they can see me, they can trust me, right? That's just the way it goes. So that's the point. Get vulnerable. Stop messing around. Stop being afraid. Share who you are. Share what you like. Here's the other thing that I would do if I were you too. The reason I have this podcast, the reason I do all of this, you guys have no idea. I guarantee you there are people out there, some of you, because attorneys are so cynical. I guarantee you that you guys think that I'm doing this podcast, I have this inner circle, I'm doing this event because I'm trying to make a bunch of money. And you know what? I make a bunch of money. But that's not the reason. I started doing this blog thing, this whole business side of stuff, when I started my law firm 10 years ago. I didn't make a single dime for like 6 years. I didn't even do anything. I just shared what I was doing. People called me, I helped them, right? And the only difference was I was like, I want to help more people, so I need to get more organized. And the only way people do things is if they pay money, right? I could give you all this stuff for free and you would never do it. You would never see any value in it. I guarantee you 99% of you have been listening to this podcast for a long time. You're not taking any significant action. You're not doing anything different. You listen to the podcast, you feel good, you move on to your day, everything happens just the way it does, right? Guaranteed. I do this because it's my hobby. I love this stuff. Like, I can't explain it. And for me to talk about this is a creative outlet. It's a way for me to think about these things while I'm watching the show and then come and talk about it, right? And when I'm looking at the camera and when I'm talking to this microphone, I know I'm talking to you. I feel that from me, and I love it. I love that. So the point of that is, if you have a hobby, go pursue that hobby. Be you in that hobby. But talk about it when you're doing your content for your estate planning videos too. Like, own it all. Be all of you. Don't compartmentalize. When somebody walks out, let me give you a perfect example. Then we got to go. I got to go watch my daughter jump rope. Jump rope camp is over, and they're doing a recital, and I'm going to be late. But when people come into my office and they say, I own a business, I'm like, tell me. I literally will say this. I will say this has nothing to do with your estate plan in your estate planning meeting, but I love business. So please tell me about your business. I'm just curious. What do you do? How's it going? What's working? What's not? What's your biggest frustration? I ask them all these questions because I love this stuff. And they know that about me coming in. And it endears them to me because I'm being myself. They can see who I am. And all they're looking for when they're looking for an attorney is, who can I trust? Okay? They know that you have that baseline level of education and experience, or they wouldn't even come in. But what they're saying is, when they come in, when they book a time with you, when they sign up, they're saying, I want to make sure I can trust this person. I want to make sure I can afford this person too, right? I mean, obviously. But trust is big. And you're missing out when you're not being yourself. So stop it. Okay? That's it. That's it. One more reminder, come to the event. I cannot fathom, by the way. I'm getting a little grumpy here, I'm not gonna lie. I cannot fathom how I cannot find 15 people to come and hang out with me for a day in Charleston, South Carolina, which is a beautiful place, with other law firm owners working on your business. I just don't get it. Worst case scenario, all you need is one idea. All you need is one good idea to come out of this meeting to get you one new client a month, and you've like 100x your investment. Anyway, theunconventionalattorney.com/Q for registration. If you go there and the link is up, there's a spot open. If you go there the registration page is up, the spot is open. If you go there and the registration page is down, it's closed. But I'll open it up again in January. January we're going to San Diego. April we're going to Chicago. October we're going to somewhere, but I can't remember. But we're going somewhere in October. I've already built out July. We're going in July. Somewhere north. Anyway, theunconventionaltraining.com/Q for registration. Okay, I'd love to see you there. Only 15 spots. Well, only 8 spots. 8 to 10 spots. So come and see me. Come hang. All right, cool. Have a great day. Have a great week. Have a great everything. I'm Christopher Small. I'm the Unconventional Attorney. Thank you so much for your time. I hope this resonated with you. Share this with somebody if they need it. If you haven't subscribed to the podcast, subscribe. Give me a review so more people can find it. That's it. See ya.